for a couple hours.
At 12:23 p.m. on a warm September afternoon in 2025, thousands of students gathered under a giant white tent at Utah Valley University, expecting another fiery conservative campus debate from Charlie Kirk. Instead, they witnessed a political execution broadcast in real time. 1 second, Kirk was answering a heated question about trans shooters and gun violence. The next, a single high-powered round tore through his neck, dropping him instantly as the crowd screamed and scattered. What should have been another stop on his American comeback tour became the most polarizing political killing of the decade, an assassination that didn't just take a life, but ripped open every fault line in American society. To understand why this moment detonated so violently, you have to understand who Charlie Kirk was, not just a political commentator, but a symbol. Born in 1993, Kirk skipped the traditional college path and instead built a political empire from a garage. Turning Point USA, a pro-capitalism, anti-woke student movement that spread across more than 3,500 campuses. In a decade, he evolved from a teen activist into a culture war general, a conservative influencer with millions of followers and a direct pipeline to the Trump political machine. His events weren't just speeches. They were battlefield rallies. His debates weren't conversations. They were viral weapons designed for TikTok and YouTube. And his rise created as many enemies as admirers. For some, he was a champion of free speech, tradition, and unapologetic American nationalism. For others, he was a provocateur who inflamed racial tension, attacked LGBTQ+ communities, and mainstreamed conspiracy-driven politics. Charlie Kirk was not neutral. He was never meant to be. That morning at UVU, the energy was typical Kirk. He controlled the stage like a conductor, tossing out sharp one-liners, triggering cheers and boos with equal intensity. When a student asked about the number of trans mass shooters in the last decade, Kirk leaned in, calm, confident, dismissive. Too many, he said, and not nearly enough people are willing to say it. The crowd reacted immediately. Phones rose. People murmured, some cheering, some shaking their heads. It was classic Kirk. Poke the culture war, let the internet do the rest. But no one expected what came next. A single crack split the air, loud, sharp, metallic. For 2 seconds, no one moved. Then blood erupted from Kirk's neck as he sagged backward, eyes wide, body collapsing into the chair behind him. The first rows froze in horror, then chaos detonated. Hundreds ducked under chairs, others sprinted for the exits. Dozens tripped and fell as the tent shook with panic. Screams, sobs, dropped phones, live streams still rolling. It felt less like a political event and more like the opening seconds of a terror attack. EMTs rushed in, performing emergency compressions, but the wound was catastrophic. By the time they carried Kirk out on a stretcher, he was already gone. The sniper fired only one round. One shot. One kill. And then he vanished. Investigators revealed that the shooter had positioned himself on the roof of the Liberal Arts Center, roughly 120 meters from the tent. Far enough for distance, close enough for precision. After pulling the trigger, he moved quickly, crossed the roof, dropped into a residential area behind the campus, and disappeared. Within hours, the FBI released images of a suspect blending into the crowd before the shooting. Later, in a wooded area not far from the campus, officers discovered a high-powered semi-automatic rifle wrapped in cloth, one spent casing, and 3 unused rounds. The weapon was engraved with anti-fascist symbols and pro-trans rights iconography, sparking instant political wildfire. The next day, a name emerged. Tyler James Robinson, 22. A young man with no clear party affiliation, described by roommates as quiet, distant, unpredictable. Messages leaked from his Discord account revealed chilling hints. Mentions of retrieving a rifle, testing disguises, even jokes about being surrounded by his own doppelgangers online. His family eventually convinced him to surrender, but once in custody, Robinson refused to cooperate. Prosecutors immediately pursued the death penalty, while investigators tried to piece together what fueled the attack. Ideology, personal resentment, mental instability, or something much darker. The reaction from political leaders was instant and explosive. President Trump, one of Kirk's closest allies, declared national mourning within hours, ordering flags to half-staff across the country and announcing Kirk would be posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States. Conservative media called Kirk a martyr. MAGA influencers demanded mass arrests. Democratic leaders condemned the killing but begged for calm. But calm evaporated fast. Within a day, the assassination became a weapon. Conservative commentators blamed the radicalized left, calling the killing the natural outcome of years of anti-conservative rhetoric. Progressive voices shot back, warning that the right would use this tragedy as justification to further suppress dissent. European far-right leaders chimed in, claiming the attack was proof of a global progressive insurgency. Hashtags about the sniper, the rifle, the motive, and Trump's response flooded every platform, generating millions of impressions per hour. And then came the misinformation tsunami. An elderly socialist man in Canada was falsely accused of being the shooter after a random photo of him was circulated in conspiracy groups. He received death threats for days from people he had never met. Others insisted Kirk's collapse was staged using a blood packet strapped to his microphone clip. A viral video pointed to his moving ring as proof of AI editing, not realizing the ring had a hinge. Another massive thread tracked a private jet whose transponder briefly lost signal near Utah, claiming the shooter escaped by air. Even though aviation experts confirmed signal loss is normal in mountain regions. Within hours, truth was indistinguishable from fiction. Foreign governments, Russia, China, Iran, were caught amplifying the chaos with bot networks pushing divisive narratives. AI chatbots and summarization tools accidentally spread false details from early unverified posts. In a world where information moves faster than verification, the assassination became less an event and more a global hallucination. And all of this unfolded while the rest of the world was already on fire. Nepal was in violent uprisings. Indonesia faced massive youth-led street clashes. France's government had collapsed after a historic confidence vote. South Korea's brief martial law scare tanked its stock market. Global tension was rising everywhere, and America just added a political assassination to the list. The world felt like it was cracking open. As the shock settled, the debate over Charlie Kirk's legacy intensified. Supporters called him a truth-teller who died for free speech, a man who fought the cultural drift of America and paid the ultimate price. Critics called him a provocateur whose rhetoric deepened national division, saying the tragedy was a symptom of a society pushed to the breaking point by voices that thrived on outrage. But no matter which side you fall on, one thing is undeniable. Charlie Kirk's death wasn't just the end of a man. It was a warning shot for a country already on edge. Because when one bullet can collapse a political empire, when misinformation can outrun reality in minutes, when a single event can turn millions against each other overnight, it forces a disturbing question. If this is what one assassination can do, what happens when the next shot is fired?